close enough. As I've said before on this channel, wrestling's full of missed opportunities, instances of what if. What if Magnum TA never got in that car crash? What if Bret Hart never signed with WCW? What if the XWF got a TV deal? Just kidding, they probably still would have bombed. But in modern times, a wrestler that gets me asking that question a lot is Paige. It's crazy to see how much WWE invested in Paige over the years and how little of a return they seem to have gotten. She was a prodigy of the business, born into a wrestling family and having her first match at 13 years old. Once she got signed, they really seemed to groom her as the future of the women's division. She was the first NXT Women's Champion. She became a double champion when she won the Divas title on her first night in the main roster. She was featured in 2 of their animated films. She's even the topic of a major movie being executive produced by The Rock. They wouldn't give this kind of treatment to just anybody. Paige was built up to be special. Then came the injuries. Then came the wellness policy violations. Then came the sex tapes. Then came months of headlines about her and her relationship with then-boyfriend Alberto Del Rio, which seemed to put her on the company's shit list. After getting her neck surgery and putting all of the drama in her life behind her, she finally returned to the ring after almost a year away in late 2017, only to injure her neck once again and ultimately retire at the ripe old age of 25. Wrestling sure can be a bummer sometimes. Though Paige's in-ring career ended prematurely, her role in the company is still about as prominent as can be, as she currently plays the role of SmackDown GM and is doing a pretty darn good job of it. It's great to see Paige doing well for herself in spite of a wave of setbacks, but after all she accomplished and all that was left for her to accomplish, it's hard to look at her career and not ask, what if? Specifically, what if she didn't star in Santa's Little Helper? Santa's Little Helper is a straight-to-DVD movie that came out in 2015. If you thought Christmas Bounty was the only Miz-tacular holiday romp in the WWE Studios library, you were quite mistaken. And if you think this movie's going to be any better than The Miz doing his worst Jersey accent...
I heard, in fact, most of Trenton has heard, an investment banker. Pretty fancy.
You are also mistaken. But the real hook of this movie isn't just The Miz, it's also the live-action feature film debut of Paige. Though she had teamed up with Mr. Mizzy in a two-dimensional setting in the past, this was our chance to truly see Paige's acting chops on display. Santa's Little Helper was directed by Gil Younger, who not only directed Bounty 2 years earlier, but upon further research also directed 10 Things I Hate About You. And as much as I wish we saw a star in the making the caliber of Heath Ledger in this movie, well, the movie begins with an image of Christmas time in Southern California, an image that's instantly ruined when The Miz pulls up in his sports car with what appears to be a parody of a British Columbia license plate. Miz plays Dax the Axe, a corporate hatchet man. With his fancy car and his overwhelming arrogance, he's basically Harry Smilak from Body Slam. Dax shows up to a local youth center to announce he's shutting it down.
I told you on the phone, we need more time. Our center's director ran off with all of our money.
That sounds like something you should take care of. Have you tried calling the police?
There must be something we can do.
Oh, there is. Vacate the premises by the 15th, because that's when the bulldozer's coming.
Oh man, but if the youth center closes, where are those kids gonna go to paint their really creepy self-portraits? Ugh, what's with those? Ugh. Dax heads back to the office building where people speak in finger guns, and he finds out he's been wished well in his future endeavors.
Let me get this straight. You're giving Dax the axe. The axe?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty funny line. After being pushed out of his job by an unseen coworker, Dax goes all Marine on his boss's desk.
I'll see to it that you never work anywhere again. Don't you dare touch my signed Super Bowl football.
Hey, do you want to get sued? Call it your signed big game football. Well, hey, look, The Miz is a lefty like me. Neat. Things go from bad to worse for our hero. After he gets fired, his girlfriend leaves him, his car gets repossessed, and he's being forced out of his home by a strangely giddy mortgage broker.
You've been living well beyond your means for quite a while. Now you're screwed.
Miz shouts at the youth center from before, and it's clear the character has some sort of connection to it. It's then that he's approached by a man dressed up as Santa Claus, who I swear is played by the late Edward Herrmann's stunt double.
Why are you here?
Maybe I was looking for you.
I appreciate the compliment, but I play for you.
No, Dax.
Christmas time is the right time for a good old-fashioned gay joke. After Dax laments to Santa that all is lost, we discover that this Saint Nick is the real deal. We cut to his workshop in the North Pole, which just looks like an extra woodsy part of Canada. I'm guessing the filmmakers couldn't find enough little people actors, or they couldn't use forced perspective like an elf, because here everyone's the same size. It's here that we meet Billy, an elf who's very underdressed for the climate, whose job it is to keep Santa in shape, which he's clearly been bad at. Unlike the other elves, her ears are round instead of pointed, the result of what she calls a genetic defect. It seems to be something people make notice of apropos of nothing in this movie.
Let's go. One more.
Aye, aye, my round-eared friend.
That's rude. Santa reveals his second in command is retiring after 200 years. The position's officially called the Head Office Herald of Holiday Operations, or Ho-Ho-Ho for short.
His mind is getting a little... Last night, he accidentally turned my sleigh into a breakfast burrito.
Haha, dementia. The Ho-Ho-Ho was a daughter named Eleanor, played by Paige. Eleanor believes the position is her birthright, but Kris Kringle sees something in Dax and tells Billy to head to California to observe him and see if he's Ho-Ho-Ho material.
Twixel's bell?
Only use North Pole magic when you absolutely have to. We must be very careful what we do.
What's going on with those maps in the background? Is it a war zone, a viral outbreak or something? Billy uses the polar portal to transport herself to Dax. The portal is run by a fellow elf named Fitzy, a very unfunny character who adds nothing to this movie despite appearing often and makes me want to gouge my eyes out with candy cane shivs. In walks Eleanor, who wants to know where Billy's headed.
That is privileged transporter and transportee information.
Sure, Paige, draw even more attention to how fake those elf ears look. We go back to Dax's house, the first of many times they find an excuse to show Miz without a shirt on. He's already wearing underwear in this scene, so why does this particular shot look deliberately framed to tastefully conceal his junk? Billy shows up and offers Dax a chance to prove himself worthy of a very high-profile job, and while she does her best to keep the details a secret, Dax does his best to get it out of her.
Or maybe that Musk guy. He's always got weird ideas. Am I getting warmer?
No.
Bezos?
No.
Gates?
No, stop guessing.
All right. Zuckerberg? Cuban. It's got a whole Cuban-y vibe, the whole trial by fire thing. It's Murdoch, isn't it?
It's got the Donald written all over it. It's Trump. You work for Trump, right?
You know what? I'm not going to go there. Don't want to. I'm going to walk away from this situation for just a second. I'll be back real soon, just for a few minutes. Just going to get some fresh air. Again, I'll be back real soon. I'm not going to go there. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Dax and Billy drive from job to job in a smart car. And boy, they sure have a lot of driving scenes in this movie. Gotta hit that 90-minute runtime somehow. Dax's first task is to go into a biker bar wearing a silly hat, tell the bikers inside that he dinged one of their bikes, then try to resolve the situation peacefully. It goes about as well as you might expect, but check out the Miz dodging all those attacks. Someone's good at hitting the R2 button.
Peanuts? Why'd you do that? I was hoping you had a peanut allergy.
For real, that biker is my favorite character in this movie. Dax gets KO'd by the bartender, played by Maurice, then Billy saves his life using her polar magic. Back at the house, Dax makes a startling revelation.
You don't have a single Christmas decoration in here. Not one.
Christmas isn't exactly my favorite time of year.
Don't say it, Dax. Don't tell me that you don't have Christmas spirit. After Dax leaves the room, Billy rings her bell to call on Santa, only to get Fitzy, who's being a real creep.
Sometimes when Santa goes to sleep, I put on one of his shirts.
Somebody keep an eye on that guy. He's going to graduate to wearing Santa's skin next. After that pointless convo, Santa finally shows up and tells Billy not to worry about Dax's lack of holiday cheer.
Sometimes making the choice that makes the least sense makes the most sense.
Dax's next task takes place at what looks to be a pizza restaurant run by very well-dressed chefs. They seem to have no problem with these two strangers hanging out in their kitchen. So are they cool with what's going on here? Are they in on it? Are they being paid off by Big Santa? Despite the fancy look of the kitchen staff, the restaurant's more like a Chuck E. Cheese. In walks Dax wearing a monkey suit, revealed in a shot straight out of a Tim and Eric production. From there we go to a montage of an absolute hellscape of a birthday party, where Dax gets bombarded with candy and plastic balls while also working as the kids' waitstaff. Finally, our hero snaps as he shoves the bratty birthday boy's face into his cake. Well, he seems to have liked it.
Birthday!
Dax breaks the tension and saves his hide by getting everyone to make a huge mess with food and their seemingly infinite cans of silly string. What makes this scene even more chaotic is the fact that the music they play really fucking sucks. As Dax's gruff exterior begins to fade, he's confronted by Eleanor, and each one's confused about what the other's talking about.
Do you really think you're more qualified for the job than me?
I don't think.
Yes, you don't think. This used to be my dad's job, and I'm not about to let some outsider take what's rightfully mine. I will fight to the death to become the new
monkey.
If only people in movies spoke in a language where they actually got to the point. Back at the house, Dax and Billy begin to make a connection. The sexual kind.
You might be the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
No, I'm being serious.
So am I.
Oh gosh, you think I'm beautiful? Little old me who looks like a model in every shot I'm in? Get out! The two are about to kiss when Billy snaps out of it and runs off. The next day, they go to an old folks' home to get them to exercise because Christmas. If you notice, the people there are watching Total Divas because of course they are.
We're gonna start with a few simple stretches.
I say, take your shirt off and I'll think about it.
The filmmakers find another excuse for Miz to go shirtless as he's able to will this tough crowd into going along with his routine.
All right, now let's raise the roof.
Why? What's the matter with the roof?
Nothing, the roof's fine.
In the next scene, Billy has to change a flat tire and Dax begins asking more about her.
What's your last name?
It's, Jean.
You must have been really teased when that song came out.
What song?
The mic.
So in the North Pole, elves don't have last names or follow popular culture, but they do seem to know what hot dog carts are.
Ah, a hot dog cart. I gotta have one.
As Billy gets her hot dog, Dax discovers a randomly British man in an alley who just got mugged by a group of youths and who took his family ring.
I don't care about the money at all. That ring was priceless to me.
These kids are obviously the dumbest muggers on the planet because they don't even leave the scene of the crime. Dax intimidates them into giving the ring back and the man is overjoyed. With Dax having passed his final test without even knowing it, Billy finally reveals the secret and our lead is muy skeptical.
I'm not lying. There is a job, and it's a great one as the ho-ho-ho.
Oh, up in the North Pole, surrounded by gumdrops and gingerbread men?
Yes!
Wow!
Damn it, movie, quit trying to make me like you with these occasional good zingers. Santa shows up to talk to Dax and reveals that he was the British guy in disguise. Papa Noel and Dax teleport to a flashback where a young Dax is accused of stealing money from the same youth center he's getting torn down in the present. Apparently, he was framed by the director.
If Tommy and Mike didn't do it, and I know I didn't do it, that means you did.
I know.
I love that the guy is so quick to admit that it was him the second he's asked about it. Dude's got a worse poker face than Shane Douglas in Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. Dax was banned from the youth center as a result, which made him turn into a bitter man who trusted nobody but himself. But Santa shows him there could have been a better way.
If you had kept your heart open to others, you would have realized your dream and become an astronaut. You would have made millions in product endorsements.
Whether orbiting the Earth or walking around the block.
You would have met a wonderful woman and had 2 beautiful children.
Okay?
You would have used the science of zero gravity and discovered a cure for the common cold.
What? I couldn't write a stupider sentence if I tried. And I've tried, people. You know I've tried.
And for a couple of weeks, you would have been a greeter at a famous clothing store.
How's your day going?
Sweet silver bells ring-a-linging off Rudolph's nutsack. What the hell just happened? So first of all, Santa Claus is a fortune teller now, which, okay. Second, this is the most insane 75 seconds of the entire movie. Hell, of any movie I've reviewed. I know they hinted at Dax's dreams of becoming an astronaut earlier when they showed an old carving in a bench with his name in a space shuttle, but product endorsements? A family that stands in line swinging their arms around? A transition from astronaut to medical scientist? This isn't a Christmas movie. This is an eggnog fever dream. This absurd moment's broken up with another appearance from our old pal Fitzy. Not sure what the point is of ripping off the classic scene from Risky Business when they can't get the rights to Seeger. After some really bad line delivery by Billy, we get another awkward nothing conversation before Fitzy leaves. Thanks for nothing, guy. Please put some pants on. Santa offers Dax the job of ho-ho-ho, but gives him the night to sleep on it. The next day, Dax accepts the offer. Boy, that was some tension, huh? Up at the North Pole, Dax is about to be sworn in when suddenly, unnecessary flip is unnecessary.
Don't mean to interrupt. Actually, no, I do mean to interrupt.
Why'd you say it then? Eleanor references an old North Pole bylaw to challenge Dax to a competition for the role of ho-ho-ho, and she wants a race through Santa's boot camp.
It's a brutal obstacle course that Santa designed to help prepare us for all the challenges that come our way.
Yes, one look at that course and you know it gets the elves ready for all those rigorous challenges like making toys and wrapping them up and eating cookies? As Eleanor and Dax race through the course, the whole workshop is watching the action on TV, and Mrs. Claus's emotions get the better of her.
That's how Mama butters her cookies!
That's right, there's no room on the North Pole for outbursts like that.
Who's the man? That's the man! I said, who's the man? That's the man!
No one? No one's gonna stop her? Eleanor wins the race after fighting dirty and claims the position for herself. Despite losing out on the opportunity, Dax is optimistic and tells Billy not to worry about him.
I'm sure whatever you decide, it'll be great.
Is that a candy cane in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Dax sneaks off with Billy's belt before going back to the regular world and rushes off to the youth center, which is being prepped for demolition. Oh, come on, you're not even trying to pretend this isn't shot in Canada. Dax uses the bell to teleport the crooked director in from his vacation, but how has he not been fired by now? Do his parents own the building or what? As the police just up and take the bad guy away, Santa intervenes and tells Dax he has to save the youth center on his own. Dax cuts a passionate promo about how the children are our future or something, threatens to expose his former boss's financial impropriety, and the building is saved.
This isn't over, Dax.
Ooh, did you hear that? Looking forward to seeing Santa's little helper too. Just then, Eleanor shows up after an awesomely bad jump cut that sees the crowd in the background magically cut in half. Santa tells Eleanor that she's been disqualified from the running after fighting dirty at the obstacle course and for being a big C-word. What? Cole. But instead of awarding the job to Dax again, Santa declares that Billy will be the new ho-ho-ho. She and Dax kiss, Santa provides a little makeout snow, and we get a freeze frame ending. I hate the way this movie felt, way longer than an hour and a half. I hate the way it made me tired and barely made me laugh. I hate the music in this film, sounds like a keyboard drunk on wine. I hate the DVD cover art where the names and the actors don't align. I hate fake ears and monkey suits and bratty little kids. Curing the cold with zero gravity, it made me blow my lid. I hate the acting and the plot, I really hate it all. But mostly I hate the way that Fitzy elf kept trying to show me his balls.